Hi everyone. Today we will start with a very important topic in terms of formatting any worksheet, and that is conditional formatting. Now, to understand about what is conditional formatting, it is something which allows users to format a range of cells automatically only if the condition is true. So you can format a particular cell based on a particular condition. Yeah. And it could be dynamic. So as soon as you change a value, if it meets a particular criteria, then the condition will hit and it will format it accordingly. Now the conditions are the rules that apply to the field values. Okay. So any value within that particular cell. So conditional formatting improves the visibility of your worksheet and also makes the data very much clear and helps you to analyze that crucial cells where we have that particular data which we want to see. Now, it can be difficult for beginners to find the conditional formatting button in Microsoft Excel. Now, to find it, switch to the Home tab. Now, what we need to do is we need to check the ribbon. So on this ribbon, let me show you. On the Home tab ribbon, you will find the styles group. Yeah. Within the style groups, you will have conditional formatting. Now, there are three ways in which we can open this conditional formatting to start working on it. Yeah. So how do we do that? And then probably we'll start with at least one, that is from this conditional formatting. What we'll look into is how we can highlight cell rules. So this is highlighting cell rules. We'll see how we can set these rules. Okay. So we know by using the mouse, I'll show you first how you can access this conditional formatting. The first is through your Home tab, which is on your ribbon. Go to Styles group, and in that you need to click on the conditional formatting command. Next, as usual, as I said, using the keyboard, but using the mouse again. So not mouse, but your keyboard, but your ribbon. So previously we used mouse to access the ribbon. Right now we are using keyboard to access the ribbon toolbar. So how do you do that? Alt H for the Home tab access. Then you'll see okay, let me go to the sheet first. Okay. Alt H, I go to the Home tab. From there, I get the conditional formatting, which is an L alphabet. You click on L and it opens the conditional formatting toolbar. Yeah. Second option, if you want to directly access the rules for conditional formatting, you can click on Alt O B. Yeah. So that opens the conditional formatting rules manager. This particular rule manager is again available in conditional formatting. Go to manage rules and it will open the rules manager. Yeah. So if you want to directly open the manage rules option, which is used to manage the rules, you can click on Alt O D. Okay. So that was the shortcut. Now let's explore the options for conditional formatting. I'll be usually using mouse usually so that you can see what all options that I go through so that I can point out to those options. I would prefer always to use the keyboard, but pointing the cursor towards it help me to direct you all people while teaching you, yeah, how you can use it. So let's try and understand. The first thing that we'll see is highlighting the cell rules. So when I'm saying highlighting a particular cell is to highlight particular cell based on some condition. Yeah. And this could be used mostly for numerical data that I have used majorly, like 80 to 90% I have used to highlight cell rules while I'm using numerical data. Now the first exclusive option under the conditional formatting button is the highlight cell rules. Yeah. When you select the highlight cell rules, you get all this option. That is greater than, less than, between, equal to, text that contains a date occurring or duplicate values. We'll check all of them one by one. Yeah. But while selecting this particular options, suppose I select, you will get this particular colors, which you can have a custom color as well. So you can get light red, fill with dark red. These are custom colors that are already available here. Yeah. But you can have your own format by clicking on custom format, and this particular window opens up from where you can have your own way of formatting cells. Okay, but we'll stick to how we can format a particular cell using the various options. Yeah. So we need to first understand what these various options are. So I go to highlight cell rules. The first option is greater than. So you can choose greater than cell rule to highlight only those values that exceed the specified number in the condition. Yeah. So if I select this particular data here, which is the total column, and I want to highlight everything which is below 100. Yeah. So below 100, there are few values which I won't be able to make out quickly if there are many number of rows. So I go to highlight, greater than, and then I need to specify the value by which I want to highlight. So anything which is greater than 100, if I want to highlight, I'll say 100. Yeah. What color I want to give? By default, it is given light red fill. I can change it to yellow. I can change it to light red fill. Yeah. So I keep it as a light red fill as of now for everyone to check it. Yeah. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to highlight any value that is greater than 100. Let me make it 200 because there are too many values greater than 100. So 200, that sounds good. Okay. And here, all the values which are greater than 200 are automatically being highlighted. Yeah. So that's the use of highlight cell rules using the greater than value. Similarly, the opposite is of less than value. So if I want to mark the units which are less than 50. So let me go to highlight once again. So this rule less than is used in the case of highlighting those cells that are less than a specified value that we give. So by default, it has come 61, but we'll specify as 50. Yeah, and I'll say OK. So you can see all the values which are less than 50 are highlighted over here. Yeah, so that was the second option. Third is highlight cell between. So I want to highlight any value that is between 50 and 70. Let me remove this rule. I'll clear this rule. How do we clear this rule? I'll go to conditional formatting. We'll have a separate session on clearing the rules. I'll show it to you. Yeah. So conditional formatting, I'll say highlight, I'll say between, and then I need to specify two numbers between which I want to highlight the value. So I want to highlight any values that are between 50 and 60. Yeah, I'll say OK. And you can find all the cell values which had the value between 50 and 60 are automatically highlighted. Now, the very important thing of conditional formatting, once I apply the formatting for this entire column, if I change any value, so suppose I change 60 to 40, I need to have a value between 50 and 60. So as soon as I make it 40, the highlighting has moved off. Yeah. But if I make any value which is between 50 and 60, if I say 55, it will highlight it. So this is how, even if the value keeps on changing, the conditional formatting will stay as it is, and the formatting would be applied as soon as the particular value of that particular cell matches the condition. Yeah. So right now we saw highlight cell rules. We saw greater than, less than, between. Now let's highlight the values in the item column, which has the value as pen. So I'll say conditional formatting highlight equal to. So I'll say equal to pen. Yeah. So if I say highlight any value that is equal to pen, I'll say equals to, and it has highlighted the value. Yeah. This I've done for alphabets or strings or characters, but you can do it for numbers as well. So I can highlight numbers which are equal to 1.99 or 4.99. So I'll say highlight equals to 4.99. In the cell, I want it in a different color. I'll say red borders for those colors. Not red borders, those are not that easy to understand. Green field, I'll say okay. So you see all the 4.99 values are being highlighted in green. Okay, so this was equals to. So we saw greater than, less than, between, equal to. Now text that contain. This is mostly used for text. So suppose I want to highlight the names which has ON in the name. Yeah. So I'll say text contains. You can have any middle values. Yeah. So suppose I want to select all the names which has the alphabets ON. Yeah. And say okay. Here all the names which had the alphabet ON in their name are automatically highlighted. Okay, I can have conditional formatting placed on the same column once again. So I can say conditional formatting, highlight. I also want to highlight text that has values as which has double L in their values. Say, okay. So you can say ON and double L are all been marked in this particular column. Yeah. So these are the 5 ways in which you can use conditional formatting from the highlight cell rules. Now the next two are pretty simple. So this is specifically used for date. So we need to specify the date column. We need to select the date column, highlight, say date occurring. I can say yesterday, today. So you have various options. So I can specify any date which is from last month, or if I want to specify date in the last 7 days, last week, yesterday, next month. Yeah. So anything that I specify here would be marked in this particular column. So if I say last month, it will not mark because this time is 2025. I am specifying dates which are of 2010. Yeah. So let me make all the dates to 2025. F 10. I want to replace it with 2025. I'll say replace all. If you remember my replace all column, replace all video. Yeah. Okay. I'll say close. I'll clear all the formatting first. Yeah. And again, we'll go to the format. So I want to select all the dates which were in the last 7 days. I'll say last 7 days. I'll say, okay, there are no dates which were from the last 7 days. So let me highlight date which were from last month. Are there any dates from last month? Yes. So there are dates which are from last month, from January 2020. Okay, so this way you can use the conditional format to highlight a particular value, which are either be numbers, either be text or dates. Also, I can highlight duplicate values. So there are many times you want to highlight duplicate values within your data. So suppose I want to highlight the duplicate values here. So I also go to highlight cell rules and I'll say duplicate values. I feel, see, all the duplicate values I've been highlighting, wherein Western and West are not duplicate in this particular data. Yeah, suppose I change East to Eastern. Yeah. It will again, there is no duplicate for Eastern. Yeah. So this is how you use the highlight cell rules from this particular data or the conditional formatting options. Okay. Now you can access more rules. There are more rules which you can use. So there are format all cells based on their values, format only cell that contain particular value, format only top or bottom ranked values. You can do that. You can have the top bottom, how many top and 10 bottoms. What I can do is I can just click over here. I'll remove the conditional formatting from my selected cells. I'll say go to highlight, more rules. I'll say top or bottom ranked. I'll say I want top 5 to be highlighted in this particular data. I'll say okay. Yeah. And it has to do the formatting. Let me again go to the more rules option. Top or bottom ranked. Bottom, I need to sort, I guess. Okay, formatting, I have not done anything. So I need to color the text to probably this. Say okay, and I'll say okay. So you see this? All the top 10 values are being highlighted. Yeah. So this is how you use the conditional formatting, highlight cell values from the home tab. Yeah, and we explored all these various options that are available. Hope you understood what is the use and how we can use conditional formatting. We'll further check in our further videos, we'll check the other options as well. But hope you like this video as of now and you understood how we can use highlight cell rules in conditional formatting. Hope you like this video. Do like it, share it across with your colleagues who want to learn Excel. Do comment if you want me to cover any of the important topics that you want to learn in this 365 days of Excel. And yes, do not forget to subscribe to my channel because that's how you're going to get all my videos directly to your inbox. Thank you so much.